Welcome everyone back to the Rabbit Hole podcast. I am Garth, your somewhat host, and I have my friends here, Randy,
What's up, everybody?
and then I have my other buddy, Trevor,
Hello.
and we are here to talk about whatever comes out. That's why we're called the Rabbit Hole. So I'm gonna let Randy take it up from here. We're gonna do a generator to figure out what the jump off topic is gonna be today.
All right, guys. So here we go. I'm clicking into podcast. Let me. We've got aliens, crime and killers, current events, drugs, entertainment, paranormal and demonology, politics, sex, and sports. So let's see what lucky topic we come up with today. And a drum roll, please. Entertainment
Entertainment
is the topic today.
Oof. What are we gonna talk about for entertainment?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Well, that's a hard one, I think, because COVID.
yeah, that's
So
true.
there's not a lot of movies coming out.
That's true. What what is something that I kind of wanted to start off with was the monoliths that have been found all over the place.
We're up to what, 3?
Yeah, it was 3 now.
Which I'm not sure where they are, but
Well, I'm
That'd
gonna look
be
it up.
some
I
good
think
information to
that so.
have.
The first one was in Arizona, correct?
when I in like a unpopulated area.
Yeah, it was in no,
like
it was in Utah. Excuse me.
extremely difficult to
Was
get
in
to
Utah.
place.
Yeah, it was
something
in
like that.
Utah. I'm trying to find the third one. The third one, oh, it popped up in California.
Oh, but it does look like from the New York Post, an artist group takes credit for mysterious Utah monolith.
So an artist group. That's so strange.
Yeah, but they specifically said it was in a location that was extremely difficult to get to, and getting out was a pain in the ass, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did see a lot of people that would get into it. It took them, they had to have off-terrain vehicles, and
I guess it's plausible.
well, and then they said that someone came in the middle of the night and just destroyed. I believe it was in the middle of the night. Someone came out there and destroyed it and said, "Don't leave your trash here in the desert." So that's interesting because there was also one in Romania, and I haven't seen anybody claim that one. Have you?
No, not a bit.
Well,
But that's it's like typical USA. I'm sorry, I'm American, but let's just trash something, right?
Yeah,
like
so-
that's
something that drew a lot of attention.
yeah.
People thought it was super paranormal.
Well, let's just fuck it up. Let's.
I don't understand that.
Actually
That's a
says-
true American.
It says the first one was in Utah and disappeared after 9 days. And then on the same day it left on this November 27th when it disappeared out of Utah, it showed up in Romania and disappeared on December 2nd.
So is it supposed to be the same one?
And then appeared on December 2nd in California, which I'm guessing is saying it's multiple. If it appears on the disappears here and appears here on the same day, that's quite a bit of travel time from Utah to Romania.
Yeah, I went from Utah to Romania and then back to California. So
Yep.
I don't understand. And plus, think about this: during the COVID crisis, which we agree is an actual virus, during the COVID crisis, there were government documents unclassified about flying vehicles that weren't from this world. Did you guys see that stuff?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was several stories that came out about it.
No, I didn't see anything about it.
There were government, it was the government agencies from the Pentagon came out and said that they were otherworldly vehicles, basically. Ironically, conveniently during the COVID pandemic.
So take a minute. I love how we picked the topic and went straight into something completely different.
Well, entertainment. I mean, so
Truly is the rabbit hole, people.
let's think about the entertainment then, because I don't, like you said with COVID,
There's still entertainment out there, but it's definitely because of COVID. It's going to change what
It's-
our.
it's been scarce.
Well, I've said over and over
but it's
that-
going to change the way what we.
What's going to change the way we do everything, right? So
Right.
I think a lot of movies. To me, if you look, there's not been really any big blockbuster movies, but there have been movies come straight to DVD or straight to Amazon that
Well,
you wouldn't have seen before.
Look at Disney and Marvel. That's what they're going to
Right.
have to do.
Well, we got
Yeah.
the Disney Plus. You know what I mean? So they've
But
released
still,
a few movies on there.
they're
New
still
movies.
not. They're not making the money they would make off of theaters.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
not at all.
Even if they charge you.
Well,
Yeah.
it,
Right,
20
right.
bucks a
But that's
head.
that's kind of what I'm talking about. COVID is
it's changing the way we
reshaping.
see it.
And that's what I was
everything.
trying to say. Yeah.
It's reshaping business. It's reshaping. We all hold jobs because this is our first podcast. Maybe one day we can do this full time, but right now, working our jobs, it's completely shifted it. At least mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How we act, how we do days off. It's shaping entertainment, everything. So it's like, but where's the line? How much will it shape as this thing goes on?
Honestly, I don't know is there a line in the sand? I don't know if there is. I mean, with
Yeah.
something unprecedented
Well, so
like this.
question, since we're talking about COVID and risk of, since this is our first, I think we should also talk about. I'm still going to talk about what we're doing right and wrong.
Yeah, no,
we
for
gotta,
sure.
I feel like we're flying through some topics here, but that's why it is the rabbit
Well,
hole.
no,
I
I,
guess.
I think we're actually at a good pace because we talk about entertainment. We have our entertainment within our confines, which
Well,
is
no,
what
no, I
everybody's
use
worried
that.
about.
Talking about the COVID, to ask a question. I guess COVID's going to be the topic for a minute in general.
Yeah,
To segue or switch gears, they're supposed to have a vaccine
yeah.
by spring of next year.
No, it's
Right?
supposed to be sooner than that.
Oh, I
sooner than
thought
that.
last I seen it was spring of next year it would unroll.
No, it's
They're
roll
saying
out.
it's ready to rock and roll. It'll just take 2 or 3 months.
How
No,
do you guys feel?
I've seen by the end of December.
I won't be a test monkey.
I don't think I'm going to take it at first.
No, I don't think
Not
I'm gonna take it.
initially.
I don't know about period.
Well,
Which leaves the question: what are you gonna be able to do if you don't take the fucking vaccine, guys?
Well,
like,
I mean, there's talk about they're giving you a little card that certifies that you are vaccinated.
Yep.
and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. So to travel, to do these things,
You won't be able.
I mean, at first I think we'll be able to do daily life without them, but to do any kind of international travel or airways, I think you're gonna have that.
I think it's a slippery slope whenever you. So now it's required if they go down this road, you're required if they were to require you to have a card certifying that you have been vaccinated for this or for that or that you have had this and that. That right now it's just COVID, but it's a slippery slope for how long if they determine that it's for the people's well-being, how long until it's something for the measles or whatever other vaccinations you're required to have. How long until it turns into that?
Right. So I think the big thing here is let's make it clear. We agree that COVID is not a good thing and that it's a real virus.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's just blown out of proportion.
Okay, so with that said, with a vaccine, I'm seeing quotes on here from Dr. Fauci. If someone refuses a vaccine in the general public, then there's nothing you can do about that. You cannot force someone to take a vaccine.
Right.
Well, I'm
And I
glad
don't
they're
think
saying
that
that,
should
but how many
change.
words are empty?
Well, that's from Fauci. So then you have the president-elect Joe Biden. But I would do everything in my power, just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide. I'll do everything in my power as president of the United States to encourage people to do the right thing.
Well, he can encourage all he wants.
Yeah,
I mean, encouraging, yeah, of course. I mean, you're the president. You think it's right.
well, that's
Wherever
political
you,
talk.
wherever you stand politically. But
That's political ease.
yeah, that's also he's not in power yet. In my opinion, you're not in power yet, so you're kind of.
Well, and here,
Let's all admit what the election's done this year. No matter which side of the fence you stand on, it's been very separated.
it's been
Right.
very divisive.
So
Yeah.
any president elect that would come up there and be like, "Oh, you're gonna have to fucking take it," knows he's gonna piss off a certain demographic. So I don't like you said. I think that's political.
well, I even think on the
Excuse me,
other,
political talk.
even on the other side, I'm not sure that every liberal or Democrat's going to want to take this thing.
Well, no, I wasn't separating it into political
Especially
classes.
your moderate type.
Well, that's why I said a group of people,
Yeah,
like whatever it
yeah.
is. I mean, it may not be party driven, but
Well, and I think that they need to take this vaccine and use it for the doctors, the nurses, the elderly.
well, that's what I was going to say. I
think
mean,
it's gonna
roll
be
them out in the
your-
nursing
your-
homes.
Your people that are more high risk are probably
Exactly.
gonna be your ones that are more inclined to get the vaccine, and people that are our age and healthy are probably not.
Well, it
Right,
scares me.
right.
I'm not a doctor by no means, but I don't want to take a vaccine that's just rolled the fuck out.
Yeah, that's that's
Well, that's what
And
I'm
plus,
saying.
in such a hurry, who
Well-
knows what real testing's been? I mean,
But it's been so back and forth for the past 8 months that we don't know. I mean, you have it, you don't. We're this close, we're not close. It does this, it
Well-
does that. We've had so much information come from back and forth information that we don't even know really what the COVID can and can't do.
right. So at this point, I'm just curious. I'm about to go suck face with a COVID person
yeah.
and just see what all the hype's about. Like, I just can't get on board with like at first, like you get the COVID, you get a positive test, right, and you're just fucking, your eyes are going to explode and your brain's going to melt. Like, it was like it was a death sentence.
I mean,
Well,
that's exactly how.
And now
it
you got
works,
the
yeah.
majority of people, unless you're compromised, fucking getting over it.
Well, so I'm reading something here too that says it's more likely the vaccination requirements will play out as they have in the past. Once fully approved by the FDA, a vaccine may eventually be required for children in public and private schools and daycare settings. But my question to that is, all we've heard is that this hasn't really been affecting children.
Well, I think with the key is with the young and the kids and whatnot, it's that they are carriers. Well, I guess the only reason I could see them implement it to children, I mean, it's not like, the fucking polio and shit from back in the day. Key is that they're carriers. So the only reason I could imagine them giving them to kids is the fact that they are carriers,
Testing.
so they couldn't test anybody else
Right.
or,
And that,
or give it to anybody else.
yeah, I mean, I guess I see it, but I don't think anything should be made mandatory for a kid.
Well,
Especially these
No,
these kids. These kids probably aren't going home to their grandparents.
you've got vaccines like right now for deadly fucking viruses. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
you can parents can choose. Thus the whole anti-vaccine argument
Right.
that was all fucking huge before this COVID.
Like
But
the
even
flu.
That's
the
all, that's all
majority-
you heard for a while. There was this big debate.
The majority of people still got vaccinated. I don't know what the numbers of that.
Well,
would
whether
be,
they did or
but I would
didn't,
imagine.
it wasn't mandatory. It was
Right.
optional. Like so,
Yeah.
you had the option to vaccinate your kid
Right.
from these illnesses that have much higher mortality rates and
Oh,
issues
yeah.
with them.
For sure.
Infection and mortality.
To me,
rates,
like I
yeah.
said, and I do want to be very clear that COVID is a real virus. It spreads rapidly.
It can kill you.
It can kill you, and it spreads faster than any virus
it's
that I've
not
really
just
seen.
it's not just the spreading factor. It's also the fact it's the mutation factor. How fast it mutates.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's terrible, awful, whatever. But it's not like some things we've seen in the past. So how much out of proportion is it getting blown? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. To me, I don't think it's Ebola.
Right.
I don't think it's a
SARS,
chicken pox.
No, but I think the
Or the-
scary
not
part.
chicken
Chickenpox, smallpox, man. Measles, smallpox.
Yeah, smallpox.
Yeah,
I think
it's
the scary part about it is the potential for it. Is the potential for it to become so deadly because it mutates so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about that within like the first 2 months that it hit us, it had already mutated, multiple times.
Well, here's my whole thing. I don't know the statistics, but what was it you sent me the other day about mask-wearing countries?
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot. What kills me, even about the great state of North Carolina, where we are from, we probably should have went a little detail when we first started this first podcast.
Kakalaki.
A little bit.
It's all right. They'll find out as we go.
Yeah, they'll find out as we go. We don't want to give ourselves all away at the get-go.
Yeah, like a little bit.
But we do live in North Carolina. The governor just comes out, does this mask mandate, where you can be charged with a misdemeanor
Mm-hmm.
for not wearing a fucking mask, right? So, I don't care if you're pro-mask, anti-mask, whatever. To me, the fact that they can charge you with a class 2 misdemeanor, which I want to say is online with like assault, is fucking ridiculous. And I think that's what they're going to turn it into. Is if you're not vaccinated or if you're not wearing a mask, you are essentially assaulting someone by
Yeah.
possibility of giving them the virus.
Right.
And to me, like you think your little cloth mask
Let me ask you a question.
is going to
So-
stop microscopic.
So I know at your job that it's been pretty rampant in your workplace here recently, and it's beginning to get rampant in mine. It's just we've had, I think, over the past 3 weeks, 8 or 9 people get sent out over it, and for a plant that's only got 100 people in, or 120 maybe, you have 1, then you have 3, then you have 9, then they all come back, and then all of a sudden you got 3 more.
Well, my whole point, and I discussed this at work the other day with, to go along with the work thing or anything where you're grouping up, before this got a label, before they labeled it as COVID,
Right.
you can't tell me as soon as they put a name on it, that's when we started having it. There had to
No,
be
I'm sure.
fucking umpteen cases that we don't know about.
I'm
You
sure.
know,
I
well,
guarantee it.
So what would happen, just like with any sickness that would come in a workplace or a place of business, this thing lasts, on average like a week. I think for most healthy people, you're looking at 5 to 7 days of
Well, I've heard
symptoms.
of people kicking it the same day.
Yeah. So let's
Like
just
24 hours.
let's hypothetically take an average of 4 days, 5 days. Now before we had the COVID, you would get the way I always did it. You get sick, if you start running a fever, you're out till your fever breaks, and then you come back still a little sick.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is in blue collared work. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I took cold medicine to work and worked through
Sure.
it
You go
during
to
flu
work
season.
sick.
I mean, unless you're running a fever or the doctor said, "Hey, you've got strep throat," you came in.
Well, so I want to touch on the mask thing really quick. So I know I read a study the other day from Japan that did say they wore good masks, not bullshit.
Like the KN
N95.
or
Yeah,
whatever
like
it is,
the
the
N95
N95.
with the filter, double cloth masks, right? And their spread essentially has stopped since they did that. The problem in the United States that I see, I don't mind wearing a mask. My problem is when you have these governors that have become demagogues who want to say wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, but they're out at Napa Valley having a fancy dinner with all their buddies. No masks.
Or their children have a wedding that has over 500 people at it.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
you talk about I read like the stipulations for North Carolina. We live in North Carolina, so I'm trying to get up to date with our state.
Yeah.
It's like now they're recommending when you go to a restaurant, before wear your mask to sit down, then you can take it off.
Recommending it,
Which is
pull it down
bullshit.
to take a bite.
Yeah, pull it down to take a bite. Pull it down to take a drink.
That's insane.
Holy God.
Well, so I want to touch back real
Because
quick.
the germs, like,
I want to touch back real quick on work. So, but when all this hit initially, if you were sick, ideally, like you said before, you're sick. You take some cold medicine. If you have a fever, you go home. You come back. You work a little sick, and you get over it. You deal with it because
Right.
that's it's just kind of how life goes. Now, of course, it's different. There's a different dichotomy there, and
well, that's a
now-
$10 word.
yeah, if you come
Dichotomy.
to work and you're sick because of everything that's going on and you know it, and you're knowledgeable about it, maybe beforehand you didn't, but now you do. We understand. We've been blasted with COVID details for months now. So,
Beat
for
over
example,
the
my
head.
my workplace, before, if you were exposed to it, 2 weeks, go home. Go home 2 weeks, come back. Test negative, you come back to work, everything's hunky-dory. So now they've changed the requirements. Unless you are showing symptoms, you don't go home. You're there working. So, for example, we had a guy get sent home the middle of the week this week at 9 a.m. in the morning. He was sent home because his wife had 103 fever and was tested for COVID, which we don't know if she got her results back yet or not. Next morning, all of a sudden, he's back at work. And he's also, might I add, sick. He sounds like crap. You can hear him wheezing, and you can tell, he is, something's going on. Whether it's COVID or not, you don't know.
Well, you don't want either way, whether it's COVID or not. Who wants to be around a fucking sick
Well, and
person?
that's my point. And with the requirements of masks, they made him come back. They told him to come back to work, even though they know he's sick and his wife has potentially got COVID. They had him
Right.
come back to work, and this dude runs around with no mask on, and he comes in to our office and everything else, and he doesn't wear a mask. He hacking and coughing and wheezing. To me, that's an issue.
Oh yeah.
I mean, regardless of how you feel about COVID, if you're sick and you're in here wheezing, I got a small child. I don't want to take anything home.
Well, here's another thing for me. It doesn't. We deify these political leaders so much.
Oh, another $2 word.
$10, excuse me. $10 word. So, but we deify these people so much. That's what we need to stop doing. Wear a mask for your neighbor, for your people, for the people around you. It's not because someone told you to. It's not because someone, well, wear a mask. Don't look at it like that. Wear it because you want to protect the people that are around you that you care about. Just be a decent person.
I don't think it's hard. I mean, it's not like, I don't particularly care to wear a mask for 8 hours straight, or 12
Who
or
does?
14, but if you step away and you're in a situation where you're not around everybody, you can take your mask off.
Right. You know that they recommend wearing a mask when you can't be 6 feet apart.
They're also saying now that if you're within 6 feet, you have to, in order to catch COVID now, you have to be within 6 feet without a mask for over 15 minutes, or they're saying you can't catch.
Yeah, that's
That's the new-
prolonged exposure.
Yep.
Prolonged exposure. I did read something about that the other day because you remember the beginning of this thing. They said that masks wouldn't work. Fauci came out and said that masks wouldn't work, and then all of a sudden it was a
Everybody's
mask
wearing
mandate.
masks.
I don't know if it prevents necessarily everything. I can't say that I don't know the science.
No, I don't think we know. I don't really think they know what the exact effectiveness of it is.
You would think there's to some point it does work to some point, to some degree.
For
it
sure.
works. It prevents something from coming out.
For sure.
I mean, that's the whole point.
Well, and I was looking at the CDC the other day. I sent to Randy. It said COVID-19. This is from the CDC website. You can look it up. COVID-19 mortality increased on average by 16.2% each week in countries with mask wearing norms and policies, compared to 61.9% each week in countries without. So,
well, I think there's also something to say too, though, that with everything that's going on right now, with all the scare, people are actually washing their hands. They're actually using hand sanitizer. They're paying attention to what they're touching and where they're touching. So I think that's also it's not just the mask. I think that's also a factor that people are being a little more self-aware.
I haven't changed shit.
Huh?
I haven't changed shit.
you don't wash your hands?
Not much.
When you wipe your ass, do you wash your hands?
Not if I'm at home.
Whoa. That's pink eye waiting to happen.
I hope you clip them fingernails, big guy.
Bro, I was thinking like the other day when I was a kid, I never washed my hands. I never got sick either.
Well, that's why there's just something to be said about like immunity and building your immune system. That's why I've kind of gotten quiet. I guess I stand on a different. Mother Nature's going to thin the fucking herd.
Yeah, but
I can't keep everybody alive.
Regardless, bro, I understand. Like no one wants to wear a mask. But,
Overpopulation's a bitch.
Even if you feel
but
that
we're
way,
not overpopulated.
even if you do
As
feel
a
that
world?
way, if you were
think we're
sick,
Not as a country.
even feeling that way, if you were sick and you knew you were sick with everything going on right now, would you come to my house and hang out and spread that shit?
Even with the flu.
No, I
Stay
mean, even
home.
if before this, if I was sick, I would stay home.
Okay,
Right.
But that's kind of the whole
This
point.
is common decency.
It doesn't take a fucking member of Congress to tell me that.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
not
I agree.
rocket
You know,
with
it's just
that.
kind of like
Pretty
common
straightforward, I
sense.
think.
Well, that's my point with the mask. That's what I was saying about the mask. I said I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily think that, well, just because someone tells you to wear a mask, you should wear a mask. I'm saying wear a mask for the people in your community.
But we didn't during flu season.
No,
No, of course not.
Hey, you know what I mean? And this,
we never have.
That
and
has
look
a
at
higher
flu-
mortality
look at
rate.
the
However,
flu
the
right now,
flu,
it's down.
yeah,
It's way
yeah,
down.
but come on. Why is
yeah,
it
but the
down?
flu,
Why is
has
it
a vaccine.
But you're only vaccinating for certain strands. You're not
Yeah, I
catching
know,
all of
but
them.
it has a vaccine. What do you think
Sure.
the COVID is going to be? It's just going to be for a strand.
Sure, absolutely. I 100% agree.
I mean, I don't necessarily.
Still not taking a fucking vaccine.
I'm all.
I'm just level.
No,
I
no,
ain't
no.
fucking taking one.
Well, and then the talks at first with the vaccine was if they get 30% of the population, that would bring herd immunity. Is that what it was?
I didn't see
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it was
Supposedly,
like
that's the
30%.
idea.
30% of that.
It would kill it enough that it wouldn't
Right. If
be able to
30%
spread as quickly.
If 30% of the population of the United States were to get the vaccine,
Kind of like the flu shot. You have a
Right.
vast majority of people that take it, so it dampens it out for
yeah,
the entire population.
it would essentially kill the virus. But then you have Fauci coming out saying, "Well, you're still gonna have to wear a mask and be 6 feet apart." So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a dumb hick from North Carolina. I just,
Oh,
I can't get on board with everything they're saying. Like you said, I believe in common decency. If there's a
Right,
virus out there,
sure.
of course, common sense or decency for like,
course.
But you're also not.
we just went through the
nasty.
holidays. I had to get tested over the holidays myself.
yeah.
Come back negative, but still it brings conversation. Hey, are we going to go do the holiday thing? Are we going to go do Thanksgiving?
Can we talk about that
What
test
are we
real
gonna
quick? I felt like I had sucked up water up my nose in a swimming
Oh,
pool
it
for
burnt.
30 minutes.
It burnt.
Yeah, I
Which
did.
would not go
They said
away.
they've gotten better. It still wasn't fucking pleasant.
Fortunately-
They
Unfortunately-
tickled my damn brainstem.
I
I
had
don't
to
know
do it
about
twice.
you.
I did the rapid test, and I do the one they send off.
Ooh.
Right, so you gotta do the rapid test so
Yeah.
you know. But then protocol with my work is you gotta do the send off test,
Mhm.
and you can't come back till that comes in. So once that comes in negative, you're clear to come back.
Once you're
I did it
positive, it's
twice in
supposed to be
15
twice.
minutes, both nostrils.
Mm.
Jesus,
That's
Yeah.
rough.
you might as well stuck a fucking Brillo pad up my nose.
I haven't. Yeah, I've been lucky enough because I stay at home most of the time to not have to catch it. But I mean, I don't want to get it. I think it's safe to say that no one wants to get COVID.
No, I mean you don't
I
want
agree.
to, but I think it's one of those you accept the risk, right?
course.
Like if you're gonna go out in public, if you're gonna go do these things,
Well,
I
people
think it's
don't whine, bitch, and moan. Like you said, you stay at home, right? You stay at home mostly.
Yep.
So if you're not saying you are specifically you,
yeah.
but if you're that fucking worried, like
Just
some
stay
of
home.
these people that I've met and seen, and just
Don't go out.
over conversation. Yeah, stay at home.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in 2020, you can deliver your fucking groceries. You can get fast food.
Anything you would need,
Anything
you
you
can
need,
deliver.
you can get to your fucking house.
Well, another
so
problem.
don't come out.
Well, me and Trevor were talking about this yesterday. The big problem, probably the biggest problem that I see in this COVID situation is what it's doing to people's pockets, it's destroying. People can't feed their families. I've been fortunate. Unfortunately, I'm unemployed, but we've been fortunate. However, not everyone is that fortunate.
But I also think that so look at there are plenty of jobs out there that are hiring, but you have to look at what the income is of those jobs. I mean, if you're talking about a medium wage job and someone lost their job who was making $60,000, $70,000, or even $50,000 a year, hell, even 40. If I was making $18 an hour with my job and I lost it, and I can only find $7 an hour jobs, I've got to have 2 of them to make up for what I was making before. Right. And instead of 40 hours, I'm working 80 now. And there's something to be said about getting out there and just making it happen. However, I think that's I think it's almost a facade when you hear about all these jobs that are out there, and there are jobs, but what about the people that are not what are they called? Jobs that are entry level jobs.
Yeah.
People that don't have entry level jobs that are well past that have progressed through that, and now they're having to start over and do it again.
Yeah.
And but most people don't live below their means; they live at their means or above. So if you're living right at your means, and all of a sudden your means have changed, what do you do? And there's no help from the system. There's no jobs out there. That can pay what you need to be paid.
Well, I think it all boils down to it. Like I said, it's safe to say that COVID will shape the future in some ways. Just like now, I know multiple businesses, if you can work from home, they are making you work from home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have those kinds of jobs, Randy.
Oh, no.
I did, but they laid me off because of COVID, or fired me because of COVID. So I think it's just bad for everybody, especially when you have machines like Walmart and Amazon. They're still able to work their people to death and spread this virus, and pay them nothing, and take away their hazard pay. So I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I think that if they're coming to work for you during this time, they deserve some type of hazard pay.
Well, and that's
a lot of places did it for a short period of time.
But our infections, whatever you want to call it, was lower then than it is now, and we're not receiving hazard pay now.
I think that's like eventually it's going to boil down, to me anyway, is to where it's never going to stop, right? So the COVID's here. We'll never not have it. But as a society, where do we kind of just draw the line of, okay, does that make sense? Where do we kind of, just like with the flu, with all these other illnesses we face, where do we kind of just draw the line and, okay, daily life has got to continue.
Right.
Until everybody's done being scared.
Yeah. So my dogs are barking pretty crazy right now. So, not to get off the topic at hand, but
maybe
well, I don't know. What I'm thinking though is, I think that COVID, it does have to run its course at some point. It's ran its course pretty hard in this country. We've lost a lot of people. People have lost jobs, and it's going to continue to wreak havoc until we can find a balance. And unfortunately, we're not there yet.
That's what I'm talking about, kind of that balance of maybe it comes with the vaccine. Who knows?
Yeah,
but eventually, it's just going to have to. You're going to have to coexist with it.
Yeah.
It's just you accept the risks and you coexist. You go about your daily life. Like I said, hopefully that comes with the vaccine. I'm not a big believer in it. Well, I don't plan on taking it, but hopefully it comes with it, and we can get back to daily life.
Another thing that I think is ridiculous is the fact that they're fining people for not wearing masks. Yet when people were destroying cities through this country, there was no fines handed out. I mean, why are people leaving California, New York? Because they don't want to be there.
Because they're shitholes.
It's Tent City.
Sorry, any New York and California listeners we may pick up along the way, but
that's going to become our red light district.
Yeah.
It's just
it's pathetic. It's pathetic. when you got people telling you, like I said,
It was
I'm
a police state.
I'm okay with the mask
Close to it.
thing, but when you start saying mandate and when you start saying fines, you kind of lose me at that point. Because what if I'm gonna fine you for wearing a mask? Is that gonna make you want to wear a mask anymore?
No, most people are going to want to say no anyways.
Yeah,
I mean,
their natural instinct is to refute, to
rebel.
to rebel.
What, human nature?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was trying to look up something, and I don't really know what to put in. There is a place in the Constitution, it's added in like the 1800s,
yeah.
about where a president or government official can pull rights, basically.
Yeah.
Mandates, pull your rights, etc., etc. If it's an epidemic, or national emergency or something like that. I'd like to be able to pull it up, and I can't find it.
Well, yeah,
But it says there's a word in there that really sticks out to me, even though that is, part of the, I guess, Constitution now was added. It's the word in there is rational,
yeah,
and it's like, where do you draw the line of rational and irrational? And that's where, for me, thinking it's slightly blown out of proportion, you're teetering the line of irrational.
right.
Rational.
Finding people is not rational.
Well, rational is also perspective too. I mean, that's going to be different depending on how you're looking at, what standpoint you're looking at it from.
Rational to me is not being fined for not wearing a mask.
I mean, I completely agree, but however, I could see another standpoint that rational is to fine you if you're putting me at risk.
No, I think that no, not to be fined. You can put someone at risk. You don't have to fine me.
You get fined when you put somebody at risk by driving drunk. What's the difference?
Well, I think there's quite a bit of difference.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, of course, but
I don't think there's any. I think this is okay. I get what you're doing, but the problem is, let's say, okay, I want to mandate a mask for people that work in nursing homes. Have people done that? Hell no. They sent in people to work in nursing homes in New York and Michigan and killed a bunch of elderly people. That should have been a big fat fucking fine.
I agree.
Not because the average Joe that is 20 feet apart from people is not wearing a mask. Or if he's having Thanksgiving with his family and someone snitches on him. If this was truly about health and safety and all these things, I think they would be doing more to help. I think corporations would be doing more to help. I think that state and local government would be doing more to help than just filling in the whole crowd full of red tape.
No, I think it shows that at the end of the day, all we can do is take care of each other. I mean, because the corporations and the big money, they're not going to take care of us.
Yeah, community is the most important part.
Right. But, so that's kind of where it comes into play. That if
food banks, churches, things like that. So I think that's the most important thing. But we're pretty far down the COVID-19.
Yeah, we
went way.
Well, it's funny. It's like entertainment. COVID-19 for 20 minutes.
But let's be honest. Like
it's entertaining if you watch shit on the media.
The entertainment value in anything has gone down because of COVID-19.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were several movies that got pushed back. Like highly anticipated films, like the new Batman film and
Black Widow.
I mean,
that in part boils down to money, right?
Of course.
So yeah,
if you're not getting the flock of people to come out,
they're gonna push it back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't want to put it out in theaters or anywhere, and then.
Well, you know what? You know what's so strange is at first,
because you're getting $15 a fucking movie ticket compared to a $9 fucking rental fee.
Well, you remember when COVID started? Remember what was the big thing everybody watched? What was the big thing? You watched it?
I don't know.
I saw tigers.
Oh yeah. The fucking
It was Tiger King.
Joe Exotic Tiger King.
It was Tiger King and then Murder Hornets. Like they were not holding any bars, man. They were throwing everything at us at once, and we were like, "Oh shit."
Maybe that's it. It's died off, so now we're all in a lull. We're just like, ah.
Like we had Tiger King, and then. I mean, what else?
Speaking of entertainment,
not shit.
That motherfucker was entertaining. I hate to go back. I know we just started a podcast. This has probably been talked about, beaten to fucking death.
Yeah, it's an interesting story for sure.
But that guy was entertaining. He got the COVID.
Yeah, I heard that. I did see that. I think
Okay.
it's interesting because nothing. So shout out to Kaylee Cuoco and the show The Flight Attendant. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it.
No, I haven't watched it.
You need to check that out. It's good.
I always rerun episodes of The Office half the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of different movies and
Yeah, I
stuff.
figured entertainment would have been the one that you could really roll with.
Well, as far as entertainment goes, I don't watch like up to date. Like I don't watch the brand new movies that come out. Like I told you, I get into like weird stuff. Like I've been watching British dramas.
Well, it's crazy when you think of entertainment. Like we keep going to movies, but with COVID,
Call of
everything
Duty.
shifted. Everything shifted.
Yeah,
Excuse me. No concerts.
yeah.
No. I mean, everything we know as entertainment's changing.
Going out to eat. That's entertainment.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna be scopping fucking concerts.
Yeah. Well, they have. They've been doing those online concerts. A lot of people have.
Zoom.
Yeah. Zoom. Who knew what Zoom was before this fucking thing started?
No, whoever made that, whew.
Dude, they're making a fucking killing on that shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
It's almost
I wish
like
I'd had that.
it's almost
idea.
like it was planted.
Well, you know. Well,
For all these
And
corporations.
take a dive.
and then I think it's insane, dude.
Look at
Like,
Amazon stocks.
bro, that Zoom stuff, man, it's wild, wild. What's some of the other topics that we had several other things we could discuss. I think that
Are we gonna run through them all in one podcast?
no.
Well, this is a one podcast channel. We're
This
never
one
doing another one
podcast
because we're
is
running through
17 hours
everything.
No, I just think that entertainment.
We talked to COVID, like you said, you're wearing a Ravens cap, you're a Ravens fan, just like playing fucking everybody is out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the Ravens lost like 18. I think it was like 22 at the end players last week, and still almost beat the vaunted Steelers that were they're undefeated.
You lost by what, 5? You were down by 5 at the end of
we
the
lost
beginning
by
of the
5.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, we lost by 5. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Although I think we found our new backup and that kid Trace McSorley from Penn State. So RG3 hurt himself.
Of course.
I gotta pee really bad.
Well, go pee.
This is something we should have thought of before starting this thing. Had
No,
some
you can
pee
go
bottles.
bro.
We just
I can
from here on
edit.
out, if we keep doing this, we're gonna have to take some 2-liter bottles in here.
No, I can
Couple
edit.
urinals.
I can edit it out.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, we're back in business.
All right.
Close my eyes.
Oh my god, bro. Creed. That's not like the '90s music.
Begin to pray
Tears of joy.
I ain't even gonna try.
down my face. To sound like Creed, all you gotta do is pretend you're taking a big Duke and enunciate your vowels.
Yeah,
Feels like you're straining.
I feel like that was the whole '90s. The
Everything.
whole '90s title thing. You know.
That was early 2000s, wasn't it? I wouldn't even call
Creed?
that 90s. Yeah, that was early 2000s. Pretty sure.
Probably. You're probably right. Yeah. So,
Almost feel like deep in thought over there, buddy.
yeah, I'm just reading. I'm actually really. I was reading something about this monolith. I think it's really interesting, just because they keep popping up different places. But is it kind of like a crop circle thing? You know, like people didn't know what crop circles were popping up. People thought it was
And really, it was a bunch of idiots out there with like
boards,
2x4s
ropes.
on their feet.
Yeah, boards and ropes doing the crop
Crop
circles.
circle deal.
I don't think that all of it's fake though.
But crop circles?
Yeah,
You think they're real? I mean, I believe in extraterrestrials.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I just don't believe they'll come down and fucking mark up a cornfield.
Well, I've seen UFOs. Have you guys? Have you ever seen?
I've never had an experience. Closest thing I ever had one time, I was a private investigator. I was driving through, it was real flat, I want to say western Arkansas at night. And, I mean, it very easily probably could have been a shooting star, but it was just traveling at a funny angle. You know,
Right,
like I'm
right.
driving down the interstate at like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
And instead of coming like downward when you're talking about plane, you know, like how a shooting star would fall. Everybody sees a shooting star.
yeah.
It just shot across. Like
Yeah.
it was a funny angle. Very well
Right.
still could have been a shooting star. But you know, my wife, she said she had experience. Like, she was outside once at 3, like a triangle, right? So like 3 lots, 3
Yeah.
dots. They came in and then they fucking took off.
Well, I
That's
think
when it
it's,
came in.
I think so the weird thing is, you guys know, I went to Afghanistan and everything, but when I was in Afghanistan, I saw these lights in the sky, and I was a helo mechanic, crew chief, you name it. I wore a lot of hats, but in Afghanistan at night, it's super dark, and you can see a difference in a helicopter, a plane, anything like that. But there was a V shape of lights in the sky, way up in the sky, way up. They weren't stars, and they were blinking back and forth like in a triangle pattern.
Right.
And we were sitting out there smoking one night. It's like 4 in the morning, dark as hell. And me and the guy I was out there with, like, you see that? He's like, yeah, I saw it. I see it. And one of the other guys came out and was like, those are helos. It's like, no, it's not a helicopter, dude. It's way up there.
It's like,
Helicopters don't fly that high.
I would love to have an experience, like a real one.
Yeah.
Not just seeing some fucking lights.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name, man? Oh, we were talking about him here a while back. Like, I think they even did a documentary about him. Where he's a younger man. Fucking alien came and got him and essentially took him out to the woods or whatever.
The female alien.
Yeah, and then they were like, he basically procreated with this alien.
Yeah.
And, like, he has an audience of other aliens. Like,
Yeah.
look, talk about stage fright.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even do it in front of, like, one human.
Extraterrestrial beings watching you.
Yeah.
Poking prod.
Just
Is that
poking it.
Is that a video? Is that
No, it's a real story.
Yeah, it's
I was
alien
gonna say,
porn.
I've
You've never
that
seen it?
video, but
It was a real story.
It says there a video. Yeah, it's a sub fetish. But no, yeah, it was like a little documentary, and we've talked about it. Dude's like let out there, and he basically, sleeps with this alien, however you want to say it, and he has this alien audience. He's like, I'm looking around, and there's like a bunch of fucking aliens staring at me.
Dude, so
And then he like talks about having half hybrid offsprings.
yeah, no, so it was.
And they come back and visit him. Like it wasn't just a one-time deal.
No, so I got the guy's name. His name was David Huggins, and he says that he lost his virginity to an extraterrestrial.
How can regular women line up after that? Like you know what I
Can't
mean?
hold
Like
up.
your first time special. Imagine it being with a fucking alien.
That was out of this world.
Oh my god.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. That's how I would start off every conversation if I were him. So, what do you think about having intercourse with alien? It was out of this world.
it was your first time. Did they laugh at you?
That's what I'm saying. What are they?
I
I
mean-
mean, if they're extraterrestrials,
But why would they fuck like us?
that's what I'm saying.
Is that not weird that they would have the same reproductive?
Why? What makes you think they know what a penis is?
What makes you think they would have a vagina?
That's what I don't know. Were they so like extraterrestrials? We don't know shit about them.
Yeah.
They come here. What
Well,
did she, like,
we may be wrong.
did she
they
she
could.
morph?
Well, didn't he
a
like
vagina?
draw her right? Like
Yeah,
he had paintings
He had
that he had done,
paintings. He had
and it like
paintings.
looked like a human with an alien face. If I'm not mistaken, I could be totally
Yeah,
wrong.
no, I'm looking at the painting.
Yeah, let me look it up on my phone. What was his name so we can discuss this and look at it
David
at the same time?
Huggins.
David Huggins. What a name.
Jeebus
He's
Christ.
Huggins the aliens.
David.
Like, did they
Huggins.
cuddle afterwards?
Well, this is like the guy. Did you see the one about the guy that had like a sexual relationship with a dolphin?
That's
Oh
disgusting.
my god, that's even
Yeah.
worse than an ant. Why?
It's so strange.
Well, I did like in high school. Somebody did like a little report on dolphins. Stated, I don't know how true it is, but they are the only other fucking
They have
animal
sex for pleasure.
that have sex
Yeah.
for pleasure. Like, but still,
I've
I
even-
think
I've
that's
even-
bullshit. You look at any kind of fucking male animal when they're fucking, they don't look too upset about it.
Well, they don't look upset because
You ever seen a
they're-
monkey frowning once?
Well, no,
I've never
no.
seen a monkey do it. but-
Monkeys do have sex for fun though.
Okay, so I guess that statement's off then.
No, dolphins aren't the only ones. Dolphins aren't the only ones.
One of
for
the
sure.
few, maybe.
Yeah, for sure they're not the only ones. There's not many the mammals that want to.
Look at this guy's painting
it.
to kind of roll back.
The coitus in question allegedly went down in 1961 when Huggins was a teenager living on his parents' farm in rural Georgia. This is for all you Georgia folks. That could have been his cousin.
Maybe that's why she looked for him.
I mean, what the hell? Like, this dude's talking about extraterrestrials in Georgia. Think about that.
Maybe his daddy uncle already done it before.
When have we ever heard of aliens or extraterrestrials in Georgia?
Well, here's one of the paintings. I assume he did because it's on his thing.
Yeah.
I think this dude might just be. There's a fucking praying mantis in it.
Well, maybe he has some kind of issues with women.
But the woman just looks like a woman with an alien head.
Maybe he was on
I don't-
drugs.
What's the praying mantis?
Well, there's like several.
Oh, he said, I thought if anything, I'd be losing it in the back. Talking about his virginity here. Losing it in the back seat of a Ford. Something like that. But it didn't work out that way.
No, that's not.
So I can't help but think about this, right? What if you had... So, we don't know anything about aliens. Aliens are just ethereal creatures as far as we know, right? So what if, like, an alien... So, like, you're watching... You remember the To Catch a Predator show? Remember that? To Catch a Predator?
You want some
Chris-
milk with them cookies?
Sure.
Sure.
To Catch a Predator was a fantastic show. And unfortunately, they got rid of it because there was a government figure, some figure in government, that killed himself because of it. Whoa.
Is
Sorry,
he
I
sucking
got-
her? Okay.
Oh, there
Alright,
got
he is
sidetracked.
suckling that.
He's suckling the teeth.
Yeah.
Suckling an extraterrestrial teat. What makes us think that extraterrestrials will have teats?
I mean, does green goo come out? We don't
I
know.
don't know.
Some alien milk.
That's
Maybe
a
it was juice.
that's a vivid. Dude must have been on some heavy psychedelics.
Well, plus there's like a little alien baby there too. I'm going to try to explain this photo. There was an extraterrestrial woman,
Good luck.
blouse open,
Blouse open.
and then there's
Open
two
blouse.
hands, holding this little what looks like an alien baby. While I'm
The
assuming
female?
David
The
Huggins,
alien?
the man in question,
Who's holding the baby? The alien?
just some hands. Well, not the same alien. No, it looks like a separate alien. It's holding like suckling, like this
Oh,
dude's
okay.
suckling the teat, and
What's
the,
he doing?
the little alien baby's the one that should be suckling the teat. If we're talking about
It looks like he's
humans.
suckling her belly button.
what are you?
The baby,
Suckling belly button.
not the dude.
Wait, so is he the baby?
He looks like a fucking baby. Like they're holding this alien baby, and it's like
Okay.
they're showing him what. I don't.
I think, but the most popular painting. Okay, hold on. Let me finish my story about To Catch a Predator.
Okay,
What if,
yeah.
what if they did To Catch a Predator intergalactic
That's
Oh
some
my
Rick and
God.
Morty shit.
on some Rick and Morty? Like the fucking alien walks into this kid's room, or like the Sting house, and they're like, oh shit. And like they don't talk. They're aliens, so they're just thinking in their head, oh my god. Whatever aliens think, like, oh my god, this is fucking. And then all of a sudden, Chris Hansen comes the fuck out.
You
Chris
thought you were going to
Hansen
get with a
comes out.
human?
Yeah, Chris Hansen comes out. He's like, dude.
Dude, the alien's just holding a fucking pack of Mox hard.
What's it, dude? He's like, well, I'm just looking for a place to. You're a fucking alien. You don't know what you're doing here.
This is Earth.
You don't even know who Chris Hansen is, do you, motherfucker?
Do you know you're on Earth right now?
You're on Earth, bro.
What were your intentions coming here to sleep with this human? Just
That's
to meet
illegal?
up with a human, huh?
Do you know it's illegal intergalactically to have sex with a human child? I don't even know how to talk with my mouth. So words are just sounds we throw at each other. But the fact is, if an alien comes here, I don't think they're going to talk to us.
But they're gonna fuck us apparently.
Apparently. If you
But
believe
here's the
David
real
Huggins.
I'm just telling you, I'm a little envious. I'm just gonna be honest.
If you believe
Billy
David,
Just?
Just a little bit.
if you believe David Huggins,
Fuck me.
like he said in his
you-
Vice interview,
You're trumping everybody with that card.
what?
I slept with fucking Jennifer Aniston. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? I fucked an alien.
And had a child.
That's a hell of a story.
I got alien babies.
That's a hell of a story.
And I showed him how to suck the teat.
And he's got
Like,
paintings.
like I said,
Paintings.
I just feel like if a being, right? We'll call it, if a being or a group of fucking beings,
A sentient being.
yeah, can travel the galaxy, right? Which has mastered something past. I just feel like reproduction wouldn't be that big of a fucking deal to them.
No, I don't either.
No,
You know what I
probably
mean?
not.
Like
I don't either.
you can travel through space.
It might mean something completely different to them.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe they were just
It's
experimenting.
all theory.
Well, there has been the talk of probing anuses.
Anus.
Maybe she was getting probed by his
Probe.
probe. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say maybe it
Nice.
was.
It's so hard
anal probe, but they had children, so unless aliens, reproduce.
It's so hard to tell, man. These aliens, they could have literally come here to have sex with David Huggins, apparently. I mean, just to, I don't know.
Well, it's like when you're talking about aliens, you talk about history.
What if he was an alien? What if David Huggins was an alien?
What is that?
I don't know. There's some strange noises going on here.
Jesus.
And now we're freaked out.
I thought somebody was tapping on a window for a second.
No, it sounds like.
I don't know what that is.
It's over here in the corner.
No. It's still going in the wall.
It's radio silence here because we're trying to figure out what is happening in my house.
We're definitely not in a soundproof booth.
No, we're not.
We're in a craft room.
We haven't quite got there yet.
It's weird.
For a split second, I thought maybe they heard our broadcast. They were coming down to.
David Huggins us.
David
Huggins us.
I was ready, dude. I was at half mast right then. I was like, here they come.
Can you imagine the species of aliens? They're like, Huggins you, like, hug you, like that means fuck you.
They've already figured it out.
They've already figured it out. Like, hug you, bro. Like, fuck what? That was a little bit insulting.
You just want to hug me?
You just think I'm a Huggins? This guy.
I'm not a hugger.
I'm gonna start using it. You're about to get Huggins.
Huggins.
Hugs. That's
Or
an
essentially, was he
interesting
like
story.
raped by aliens? Like,
Well, no, he said it was pleasurable. Unless they they suddenly had him under what's it called when like you're in love with your abuser?
oh, Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, Stockholm.
Is it Stockholm?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe that's just something they planted in his head because they're fucking aliens. And they were like, you know what?
You can just maybe they looked like regular aliens, but they just messed with his fucking mind.
Well, I thought
knows?
I thought I read that whenever he met said alien female, I don't know how they know, but that the alien looked like a human until the sexual acts were performed.
Oh yeah, now it's coming back to light. Like it showed up and led him out to the woods,
Yeah, like a regular female.
like it was a beautiful
like
woman,
human.
and
yeah, it's weird. Really,
I think
weird.
I would.
could you imagine being mid-stroke and all of a sudden, gray alien? I'd trip the fuck out.
You're fucking staring at ET, and then
That's okay.
Well, depending on where I was with it, you can't.
going
You know,
at it.
sometimes you can't stop. Sometimes.
no. But what happens if you impregnate the singer?
Well, ask David Huggins.
How intergalactic child support? What the fuck are you paying?
What do
that
I
in?
pay you with?
Yeah, what are you paying with? Like you gotta give him uranium?
Semen.
What was I talking about? You ever heard Nephilim?
Nephilim, the gold. They used humans or the Nephilim to
Well,
mine
they were
gold.
like giants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They found like it was supposed to be like down in Mexico and stuff. The Nephilim, but they would take women.
Didn't
Right.
they mine gold though?
I'm not too versed on it.
I've heard about.
But they were essentially giants or aliens. I've only ever. I mean, I think there's multiple.
Were they from
words.
the planet Nibiru?
I don't know.
The planet Nibiru, Planet X, that was supposed to destroy the Earth in like 2015. It never happened.
It never happened.
No
But, yeah.
doubt, though, there's something out there. I just,
I don't know.
I think that David Huggins was on some heavy psychedelics.
Maybe.
To be honest,
When was that? What years?
70s
Yes,
for sure.
it's very possible.
For sure.
What he left out was
What he left out was the magic shrooms.
Yeah, an
lit
hour
on the cleaner
before.
he went out there.
we dropped acid and went to a Hendrix concert.
Fucking took acid. He's already microdosing shrooms. Drops like 10 tabs of acid.
And it was probably some trailer park flusy, you know?
Maybe.
He's just fucking tripping balls.
She looks like a goddess.
Maybe.
An alien got us.
Mm,
Think about that.
hell.
That's so strange. But
So
did you have you heard the story about the house that was attacked by the aliens?
Yeah. It was like a family out in
It was in Kentucky.
something like that, Virginia, Kentucky, etc. And they like stood post.
Yeah.
Like there was a whole, like a large family, like Grandpa Jack's coming out with a fucking double barrel 12 gauge.
Yeah, dude, they were fighting them.
Yeah, I read something about it. Like, they
Hopkinsville.
actually,
It was Hopkinsville.
that's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also way back in the day.
Yeah, that was like I believe it was like 55. It was in 55. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter.
Yeah, like supposedly, like I said, they were like fucking strapped to the gills and shooting at them and shit.
Yeah, according.
What are you gonna do? But these beings can fucking travel intergalactically.
Yeah, there's not shit you can do. What are you gonna do?
Nothing. You just
mean-
kind of gotta accept it. Hopefully, they're not there to kill you. They're there to sex.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's if I see an alien, it's like, oh God, I hope you're here to fuck
If
me.
you see an
Because,
alien, if you see an alien, you just say, "My name is David Huggins, bitch,"
yeah,
and hope for the best.
just pull your pants down.
Or it's gonna be. Have you seen the movie Fire in the Sky?
Uh-uh.
You need to watch that. It scarred me when I was. Fire in the Sky was about this guy that got abducted, and it was supposedly a true story. This guy got abducted, and it was his story about being abducted and probed and put in like a sack. It's a book too, really good book.
What's it called? Sky on fire.
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the sky.
Sky
Yeah.
on fire.
Yeah.
Sky on fire. I was close.
But according to the
Your dyslexia kicked in.
Dyslexia.
according to the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, 11 witnesses who arrived at the Hopkinsville police station were genuinely terror struck. There's a picture here of the alien. It said they were like little gray guys or little green guys.
So we're like the Mars movie kind of aliens.
They kind of look like Dobby
Mars
from Harry
Attacks?
Potter.
Yeah.
They actually kind of look like Dobby.
Huh.
Yeah. See him? Can you see this?
That's kind of weird.
To give you a visual, this alien or
He got big
whatever
ol'
you
ears.
call it, he has huge ears, like bat ears.
Josh, better to hear you with.
It's so strange. And they said they saw. How many did they say they were attacked by? So this happened in 1955. Little green men with bulbous heads and oversized eyes. I totally believe in this, but some of this stuff is just crazy sounding.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm looking at it. They look like little goblins.
These are okay. So apparently, these people back then weren't the type of people. Of course, they weren't. This is like the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. They're not calling the cops for nothing, right?
Right.
They're not doing that just because they're scared of an animal. This
No, especially in '55. You know these people are self-sufficient.
they're hard, man. I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere too.
Yes, I feel like middle of nowhere Kentucky.
Yeah.
It has to be something fucking real deal to get on your one rotary
In
phone.
the 50s, to rush to the police station and be freaked. He said, after saying that these aren't the people that would run to the cops, yada, 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 what they would do is reach for their guns. Yet, here they were, women and children hysterical, and one man with a pulse of 140 beats per minute. That was measured by an investigator.
140 is a little high.
That's high.
I know my resting heart rate's like 125 to 130. So
Resting?
Yeah, there's no way.
it is. You want to come? You're welcome to come check me. It's high.
I think
Small-
what's normal, like 80?
Small metallic
it's 80 to 100.
humanoids. Impervious to bullets.
Check it out.
Bro, these things were bulletproof.
It's high.
Bro, they were bulletproof.
The aliens were bulletproof.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says
Says,
that they small metallic humanoid.
On the
Metallic.
evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children, Jesus, arrived at the Hopkinsville police station claiming that small alien creatures from a spaceship were attacking their farmhouse. They had been holding them off with gunfire for nearly 4 hours. 2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton, Billy Ray Taylor, claimed that they had been shooting at 12 to 15 short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up in the doorways and peered into the windows.
God, that's creepy.
Concerned about the possible gun battle between local citizens, 4 city police, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and 4 military police from the nearby U.S. Army Fort Campbell drove to the Sutton farmhouse located near the town of Kelly in Christian County. Their search yielded nothing apart from the evidence of gunfires and holes in the windows and door screens made by firearms. It goes on to say, residents, names them, their respected wives, Vera and Aline. Aline's brother, O.P. Baker. I love these names. Billy
They're
Ray
sick.
Taylor and wife June. Both the Taylors. Luckily, Vera was reportedly inerrant. I don't know what that means, but they were huh?
Yeah, inerrant.
No, it ain't inerrant. Somewhere I've never seen. Carnival workers that were visiting the farmhouse. The next day, neighbors told 2 officers that the families had packed up and left after claiming the creatures had returned about 3:30 in the morning.
Jesus.
Well, so we talked about this kind of like with aliens or with anything.
They might just got to hold some bad moonshine.
Maybe, but the kids were drinking moonshine.
This was 1955, bro.
So maybe
It's possible.
maybe they just wanted the kids to shut the hell up and go to bed.
Yeah.
Well, they wrote. I don't know. Like, so I just think that it's interesting that this stuff has been coming out during the COVID pandemic. Stuff that's been getting declassified and such during this pandemic, and I think it's weird because no one's paying attention to it. It's like that time I text you about Donald Rumsfeld. I told you about Donald Rumsfeld, right?
I don't know.
So like I told you this yesterday, and I think I texted Randy it. But in the day before 9/11 happened,
Yes, you did. That's right.
Donald Rumsfeld was on C-SPAN talking about $42 trillion missing the day before 9/11.
It's a lot of money.
$42 trillion unaccounted for, no receipts in the U.S. Treasury. And supposedly the plane that hit the Pentagon, that was where it hit, where the accounting. Don't quote me on this, but that's what the story is.
Hit the financial section.
Yeah. Strange.
So what do you think is the correlation between all the extraterrestrial stuff coming out while COVID has hit and we're more or less locked down?
Well, I think it's because they wanted to. They release these little things like because they know it's not going to have much airtime, so they want to put it out, and so like at some point, if aliens come down and we're put, to me, if the aliens come down, they want to put us in, alien slave camps, like whatever. What is his name? David Huggins us to submission.
Yeah, but what good do we serve a fucking advanced race like that, right?
Well, I've heard people say that it could just be. I mean, I've heard several theories about. Well, are they just going to eat us? Because we're just protein.
Are they going to use us for fuel?
Are they going to use us for fuel?
I think maybe they just come visit and laugh at us, man.
No, I think
can
it's
see
more,
that too.
No, I think it's more so of like to keep a balance, and if extraterrestrials were to come here, I think it's because they're kind of serving the purpose of like peacemakers almost, unless things get out of control. Like if do you remember the battle? Did you ever see the thing about battle in Los Angeles, like 1920s? Where this was about the time when they were doing
Los Angeles movie. The name of the movie.
Yeah, but the Battle of Los Angeles was when they actually saw those things fly in the sky and were like shooting at them. It happened in the 20s.
Oh no, I don't know if I'm well read on that.
It's crazy, dude. They were shooting at these things in the sky, and alarms were going off, and so for all those people and military people to see that stuff and freak out and start shooting into the sky. I mean, you're talking about big guns on the side of these ships. I think this was around when they were probably starting to work on the nuclear bombs, atom bombs or whatever, and they were here like, "Oh, calm down, don't."
Oh, the extraterrestrials.
Yeah, they came here and they're like, "Don't. We know what you're doing. Don't
Chill the
destroy.
fuck out.
Don't destroy this planet. It's the only one you got." I don't know. But they've also there's a video that I saw on
Well, it pulls back to what's the possibility of them advancing our race anyway, right? So you're finding like the Great Pyramids and different things.
well
What was their involvement from the get-go?
to me I think they did it. If you watch like Ancient Aliens,
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I'm speaking.
oh yeah, I mean you see like the stuff like they put,
The Nazis were doing things.
dude, they
fucking-
knew a lot. Like
What were them
people-
women that grew their fucking hair out? And
Yeah, that was
it was
weird.
their antenna.
Well, back
Whatever.
then, these people were. I mean, obviously they were super efficient, but I don't think they were that efficient. You're talking about people that were barely like outside of. I don't know what. Who knows, man? I mean, it's just insane.
I don't know. I would like to think there's other life out there.
Well, I think that they're here to. I think that they're here to protect the natural, and maybe they're just us from a different reality. Who knows?
Or a more advanced us.
Yeah.
I just want I want to sleep with one, at least once.
Okay, David Huggins.
Yep. Call me Davey, because
Call me Davey.
Mr.
I
Huggins.
wouldn't turn it down.
Well, so there was a video I saw on Paranormal
Like
Caught
YouTube
on
with a long
Camera.
finger.
On Paranormal Caught on Camera, I saw a
Ring my back door, Belby. Belby, baby.
I saw, Belby. I saw a video of it would look like a meteor coming at Russia, and then it looked like a UFO came in and smashed it to pieces. So it didn't just absolutely impact them.
I also think CG is so good now that you can't even tell a difference.
That's why I was getting at the world. Like I seen a video a while back. I forget who it was. Was it who's the guy in the fucking? Why can I not think of his name? The It movie, the second one.
Carl Skarsgård.
No,
Pennywise?
the actor. Yeah, but he was in the second one. He was in Saturday Night Live.
I can't remember his name.
He did one about extraterrestrials. As a matter of fact, he's like the ski lodge owner.
Yeah.
I forget his fucking name. But anyway, just so show how CGI's came. They got him like doing impressions. He's doing it on like one of the late night talk shows.
Oh.
But each impression
They
he
change his
does,
face.
they're doing CGI to change his face.
Yeah.
Right. So he did like Tom Cruise, but you can't tell. And I think even not to rip off on him, but I think Joe Rogan talked about at one point, or somebody else, a podcaster or somebody, because that's what I was watching was a clip of it. That's scary, man, because
Yeah.
you can't tell where it begins and ends. So it's like, what are we seeing? How do we know what we see on TV is actually that fucking person, or what can be done with that kind of? Maybe it was Alex Jones. I think it was Alex Jones because he was going on a fucking tangent about it. But it is. There's some truth to it. Like, so now with this COVID, right? Let's tie it all in together. Now with the COVID, they can't have huge press conferences and rallies
Right.
and all these different things. So there's nobody there to really bear witness. What could be done,
Yeah.
right? I guess it just proves technology's come a long fucking way.
And rather quickly.
Yeah. Oh well. It's like that whole thing. We're kind of our generation's kind of crazy because we still remember
Before.
the before times,
And
the
now.
before time.
We remember
Yeah.
dial-up and flip
I remember
phones.
not having internet.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
no internet.
None. And then like we got the dial up, and then I never
now,
had fast internet
shit.
till I moved. We never had Wi-Fi and shit my whole life till I moved out.
And then now you got 200 meg. I mean, Jesus
and I
Christ.
still don't know what that means.
5G.
I mean, it's really fast.
Yeah, well, I assume.
5G.
And now we can like all this shit at our fingertips. It's crazy.
Well, not to mention the information that's at everybody's fingertips now, which to me is an issue. Being well read to me does not constitute necessarily knowledge and
Doesn't make you smart.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, everything you could possibly want to look up is at your fingertips now. Any moment you just feel like looking something up, you do. And 10 years ago, it wasn't quite that simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well, I
unfortunate.
think you had to search for knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
of course.
now
Right, so if
it's
you wanted
just-
to learn something, you talked to somebody that knew it or you read some books.
right?
But then you had to put it to action. Right?
And it's,
We're
now
losing
it's
the
all
time
sourced
of yeah,
to,
it's sourced. We're losing the time of action.
it's sourced to the like the knowledge you gain. You don't have to work for it, like you said. So it's less.
Impactful.
You don't want to remember it. Yeah, it's less impactful.
So yeah, you give me a topic as long as it isn't, fucking some kind of crazy brain surgery or
Einstein equations.
theory, fucking physics or something. You give me a general theory like vehicles, right? So let's say replacing something in a vehicle. Give me 30 minutes with my cell phone,
You can figure
and
it out.
not even figure it out. I can sound, even if I've never done it. That's the action part. I could sound like I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking
Sure,
about. To
oh,
you,
yeah.
right? Are we creating a generation of fucking liars? You know, like
Liars,
liars might be a bad word, but
pretenders,
smart people,
pretenders.
not intelligent, smart, or vice versa, not smart, intelligent.
Or they're
I don't think it creates intelligence though. I think it actually
Well, you sound smart.
but they're just like drooling over their phone.
Yeah. So like I said, everything at your fingertips. I research anything.
anything you want, but that does not mean that
And
you
throw out-
actually
Excuse me.
are intelligent on
Right,
that.
throw out a couple terms that you've never heard, and boom. You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
yeah,
I sound like I know
Exactly.
what the fuck I'm talking.
I mean, you can, like you said, it could be anything you can possibly imagine. You can go out there and look up, and like you said, 30 minutes and have an idea of what you're looking at. But that doesn't mean that you actually understand everything that's going on and everything that you're reading and why it does this and why it does that and how that impacts this. And
Oh, you had a good point though. I'm a decent mechanic, I'd say. I've done some shade tree work. But with having a little bit of background, yeah, I can YouTube something typically, unless it's rebuilding a fucking motor, you know, or something like that. The general stuff, you watch a 20-minute video and boom, you can kind of
you can do it.
do it or have a general idea.
Hey, you could at least do it once. You know, I don't know if you probably next time you'd have to look it up again, but you could at least do it once.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also just remembering things is important.
Yeah.
Like you start like
You don't have to anymore.
like that's the thing. Like the phone is an extension of yourself at this point.
Right, yeah,
Well,
it truly
it's,
is.
It's almost like a memory bank that you don't have to retain.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's thrown off to the side. Well, I can look it up. I can go get that, grab it whenever I need it.
Well,
Yeah.
So do you really
how
understand?
many phone numbers do you know off the top of your head? I bet you I knew more when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Right, so when I was like 12 or 13, I bet you I knew more if I could ring off fucking at least 10 phone numbers.
But even if you
I
didn't
remember-
know
It's
it,
crazy
you wrote
that
it down. You
Right.
wrote it down.
I can
well, I
tell
can
you.
still recite 3 or 4 phone numbers from my childhood.
Yeah.
That I remember our old phone number. I remember my grandparents, my aunts,
I
my
remember-
uncles.
yep,
I remember
I
my
remember that.
cousins.
But now currently I know mine.
I don't even know my dad's.
I know my wife's.
It's saved in my phone. If
I
my
know
phone
my
crashes,
dad's.
I can't call my dad.
I know my dad's number. I know my
can't call you
stepmom's,
motherfuckers.
my
No,
stepdad,
numbers.
my mother, and my wife, and that's it.
I know my wife's off the top of my head. That's
I know.
pretty much it.
I mean, there's some numbers from being younger that I remember, like my cousin. I remember his number. I remember the house phone of my dad's. I remember my mom's work phone, her old work phone number. That's no longer the same. But as far as current, and I don't put any effort to remember phone numbers anymore. You don't
There's
have
no
to.
need to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we lost as far as brain power,
Yeah, I mean, I think that
making us smart and stupid at the same time.
Well, I think when you have to when you put in the effort and you actually earn what you're getting, it sticks with you. When it's something as simple as reading something, it doesn't impact you the same because you don't have to put in the effort and the drive to get there.
Right.
So it doesn't stay. I mean, I remember there are things that I remember from college that I don't know how I remember. I don't use it, but I remember it because I put in the effort to learn it, like calculus. There are things about calculus that I still remember. But something I looked up that 2 weeks ago that I thought was cool that I wanted to read about. I can't remember what that was. It wasn't impactful. There's nothing behind it.
No substance.
well, I think that it's important because every day, I've told you guys before, I try to wake up every day and read or listen to something before I get into any kind of like social media, because I think that social media is a grand distraction in this day and age, man.
I actually just deleted my Facebook like 2 weeks ago.
I mean,
Or
and Facebook
removed
I
it.
really haven't noticed.
Facebook
I
is
don't.
the most venomous of them all, dude.
Oh,
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I actually canceled the account, but I did delete the app off my phone.
Oh, so you do it?
I don't ever use it, man. I never use it.
He might scroll it, but he's not very active on it. My point is, it didn't pop up to me. The last thing I remember seeing from Trevor is when he changed his profile picture like 3 years
2015?
ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
It's just scary that people can play something on it. They can play a whole different character, an avatar to what they really are.
Yeah.
And people don't realize it. Like, they just go along with it.
Great facade.
It's an easy thing to do now.
They just go along posting their pictures of their kids they never see, or
Oh yeah, like they're the best parent in the world.
Yeah.
And they see them twice a year.
yeah. It's sad, man.
You take enough photos, I mean, it looks like they're around more.
Yeah. I mean, and that's so damaging. Like the way that people are using social media as an absolute escape from what's really going on in their life.
Yeah, and I think it creates it creates an atmosphere that you can do and say,
Whatever
but
the
it
hell
doesn't
you want.
affect you in any way,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you can just throw your phone over there.
Well, it's like I'd said before. It's funny. 20 years ago or so, that like computer gaming. It's kind of not even 20 years ago, but I remember it was coming to its own. There was always that joke of like men getting online and playing as female elves and creating this fake facade, and it was. I mean, but that's essentially what we're doing, right? Like, or a lot of people are doing. You're living this alternate ego through social media. I about turned the table over. You can be who you want, right? They used to make fun of these people because they escaped reality and went into this.
But the repercussions aren't the same. I'm not saying there's not. I mean, there's people get upset over people being mean to them and about bullying and whatnot, but the repercussions are different. If I say fuck you, you're a pansy, you might try to whoop my ass.
Well, it's an outlet. You get to be again.
But if on Facebook I
God.
message you and say fuck you, you're a pansy, what the hell are you gonna do?
So for future reference, as we do this, it's going to have to be earlier.
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Because the yawning is just
Randy is
real harsh.
yawning like crazy.
Yeah, I
You need
can't
another
quit.
cup of coffee?
I started and I cannot stop.
I got energy drinks at the house.
My second wind has become non-existent.
Well, they put Southern California under stay-at-home order.
Yep.
Sweet.
Tens of millions of people.
Let's go back to that.
Jesus
North Carolina will be
Christ.
here in 2 weeks,
Or less.
That's terrifying, dude.
right before Christmas.
That is terrifying.
Well, I mean, you're talking about numbers, right? They're talking about numbers this, numbers that. Okay, hell.
The intensive care
Man, if you
unit
don't quit making
capacity.
Is well, what kills me is we're, especially now until probably fucking February, we're going to see an influx. People are getting together for holidays. You're seeing a lot
Yeah.
more gathering. It's going to happen.
Restrictions are not.
Let's all get ready for a spike.
Yep.
You see it on the news, take it with a grain of salt.
Well, you
it's-
got
it's gonna
corporations
fucking
that don't want to pay to have people out of work for 2 weeks. That they want you to come back to work now. So until you're showing symptoms, you're not going home. Or if you have a fever, and there's plenty of people out there that don't show symptoms, then that's how you spread the shit. But that's also a factor as to why we've had a rise, because
Well, there's just still
corporations
a lot
don't want to make.
unknown to it.
Well, you're spending money on nothing. You're getting no production. You're getting nothing back from paying these people to sit at home for 2 weeks.
Right.
And that adds up.
Plus, I know why they're doing it. That's good of them. There's a little part of me that's like, you shouldn't get paid unless you test positive.
I think.
Right, so you're going to... Let's not be honest. People play the system.
Oh God,
Just
yeah.
the way it is. People want time off.
Yeah.
So, I think if I ran a business, okay, you can have that time off. But if you don't fucking test positive, you're not getting paid.
So if you had a run-in with Kenzie had a fever and you got sent home. She tested positive, you test negative, or you don't know. You go to get tested.
Well, I mean, it's a
You're
little
out for
different if
2
somebody in your
weeks.
house, we're talking about like quarantining. I'm just saying.
Just to say,
I would have to.
I mean, definitely it shouldn't be abusable, and it is.
Yeah, that's kinda what I'm
I mean,
getting
I
at.
definitely agree with that. It's pretty easy to. Pretty sure one of my coworkers it said that he had a family member that was positive and was in the hospital and this and that, and then the next day whatever, he got 5 days off, 6 days off because of it. But
Yeah, but people always tell you to follow the science and follow the science, but you're supposed to get tested if you feel bad, right? And then you're supposed to wait until the test comes back.
it's easy to say that I was exposed. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's
It's
kind of
easy
thing.
to
I was
say.
exposed, or
course.
I got the sniffles.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
you
and
have
this thing is so like asymptomatic. Like we could all have had it and not know
Yeah,
it.
and that's where this thing's at to me, and that's why I'm very much accept the risk, move on with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't tell me as soon as they slapped the label on it, that's when COVID came out. You know, who
Yeah.
knows how long this thing's been going on without a label? I mean, I know people years ago with the kids, especially. What's a virus? We don't know what virus. It's just some kind of viral thing. It's going to have to run its course. How much of it could be that it was an election year? How much of it could be, you know, business? I mean, to me, there could just be a lot of driving factors.
Well, the stupid
other than public
politicians.
safety. Because if it was public safety, tell me why fucking Walmart stays open, right?
Yeah.
And Best Buy and all these big businesses stay open when you can very easily order offline from them.
Yep.
So why are they considered essential, right? When, I mean, I can order from fucking Walmart, shouldn't hurt the fucking business. But like you said, you're having people laid off. It's affecting these mom and pop businesses or somebody that's in a small business barely treading water.
Yep.
Really heavily. Places shut down. I mean, I know gym owners are fucking sweating, at least in North Carolina.
Oh, they're sweating.
Well, dude,
But Walmart's fucking essential. Like
these southern the Southern California thing that just happened. Think about it this way: they just put a nail in the coffin of the small businesses in Southern California.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's essentially
It's
what's
a death blow.
And I think it's going to be that way in North Carolina before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And yet these big businesses thrive. You know, that's kind of my.
Super
like you,
spreaders.
it's a good. Why? So you shut down furniture factories, but Best Buy can stay open.
And Walmart.
I mean, even Walmart. Walmart has groceries. Target has groceries. All right, there's your argument there. But Best Buy,
Yeah.
what do they have that's required that you need? Nothing. None of that is required.
Yeah, clothing stores.
You
You
don't
know,
need.
shit like that.
Well, a
Why?
lot of those stores
They did
closed
shut
down.
down
Though.
when they did the stay-at-home here. Yeah, that is true. Walmart didn't.
Hell no.
Best Buy didn't. Walmart didn't.
And
Target
I doubt
didn't.
any of those corporations enforced the people coming in and out.
That's why as Christmas gets here, I'm trying to do my best.
Shop online.
Well, that too, but try to find people within your community, you know, that make things or, you know, I know every kid wants a fucking PS5 and all that shit.
Good luck.
And I'm not saying that all your gifts have to, but try to buy a couple gifts, a couple things to support your private businesses or people, you know, even if it's food or what the fuck ever.
Yeah, get a catering from a local
Yeah,
restaurant.
this is a time right now to really start supporting local businesses because I feel like in North Carolina, anyway, there's still some, because it did loosen up after the first initial shutdown. But you can't tell me in the short time it's open back up that these people aren't still worried or just treading water from the time they've lost. So if we go back into
sure
that,
they still are.
I mean, like you said, if we go back down, that's going to be a death blow to a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, and there's been people talking about the places in California, like the mom and pop restaurants or the local restaurants that are just, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it.
There's no way, no how.
I mean, this is the part where we'll be talking about with the entertainment. We're going to have to adjust to what's happening in restaurants and everything else. You know, you're going to have to start, I mean, people are doing curbside pickup. I think that's smart, but how long does that last? You're not
Plus,
bringing people in.
I mean, and with that too, people are touching your box. People are touching your bags.
Yeah.
People are touching your cups.
But I don't know how much of that is like attributing to the spread of this thing.
Well,
I would think that walking around in Walmart is probably going to contribute more to the spread.
Well, oh yes, I agree completely. But my point is, there's no way to just stop it.
No, there's not. You're taking a risk anytime you walk out your front door.
Right, I get in a car, I run a very high risk of fucking dying.
Yeah.
It's just an acceptable risk to me to live my everyday life.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, everything is a risk. But I think that with this thing, if we just acted as if we cared about our communities and not just in wearing masks.
That's kind of like, leave it up to the communities.
If
everybody had common sense, don't mandate shit.
Yeah, but not just the mask thing. Get food from a local restaurant. Don't eat a fucking McDonald's.
Right.
You know, get food. I mean, some of these local food chains, sure. Like if a Chick-fil-A is owned by somebody, that could help them, but still, it's a giant chain. They're going to be, you know, support your local places so you don't have to go downtown and see your favorite places boarded up in the future.
Yeah, whole communities lost and big organizations still running them. You know.
Yeah, it's It's crazy, man.
Well, the small places can't absorb. They can't absorb. I mean, they're day to day, and if you take away those days,
And some of them probably weren't even making money when this thing started.
right? Imagine
A lot of them.
someone who has a grand idea and just
Oh,
started.
that's like in my old town. I'm trying not to say names of small towns to get too exact, but town
Humble
over where I
communities.
work, small community. I remember when the COVID first hit, we were doing something in a park, and I seen them like hauling shit into this little restaurant that they were going to open. Still has not opened. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I mean, I don't know if they lost their business or whatever, but somebody had invested, and they were starting to put signs, and it had just hit, and it's like,
I mean, look at our gym. They haven't been open long. COVID hit. Thankfully, they're still managing to be open. But if we get shut down again,
it'll
there's no
just reverse
guarantee.
back. Maybe there too. We shut down, reopen. So, I just again, when do we start just living our daily lives? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's unprecedented. We've not seen anything like this. No one's lived through this. And I think that we're just going to have to band together as a group, as a collective. Get rid of the politics in it. I mean, we got to stop thinking about this as left and right, red and blue. This is about the local people that we care about and that we live around every day. You shouldn't have to be fucking told to wear a mask or be careful. Do it on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Let's
make.
treat us like children too.
I mean, even leaving it at your discretion. If I'm running in to grab a pack of smokes from the gas station, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. There's one person in there. I'm not wearing my mask.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna go in a food line where there's ample people in there, and you can't guarantee you're not gonna rub up against them or grab something that somebody else has grabbed. You don't know, so you wear the mask. It's not a it's really not it's not a difficult decision to make. It's an easy thing to do. Throw your mask on, get in there, and get out. But I also don't go in a grocery store and sit and look for hours. I'm in and out in
right,
5
maybe
minutes.
that's it.
You know.
Fucking Karen over here taking 4 hours in a grocery store.
Well, seriously, and I think that's part of the problem. Even if
Have
I
your let's
don't
go
wear
in
a
and get shit
mask,
and get out.
yeah, even if I don't wear a mask, I'm in and out, and you've
Quit
got
lollygagging.
Karen out here hanging out, and she's got to go up and down each aisle and twice and put shit back and change her mind and make a phone call. And I mean, you're out in public for an extended period of time, your risk is going to go up regardless if everybody wears a mask or not.
Because I think so far tonight we've covered minimal entertainment, which was our topic. A lot of COVID, a little bit of extraterrestrial.
But entertainment, dude. Like what is I mean,
The new age entertainment.
yeah, that's kind of what we're at.
You sit at
I'm
home.
not saying we did anything wrong.
Ratings,
That's actually a hard,
TV
that's a
ratings are
hard-
through the roof,
hard
guys.
topic.
And internet, oh,
Actually, to wrap things up, final thoughts, guys.
Final thoughts.
On whatever.
Well, I guess my final thought is what we've been talking about with the COVID, guys. Take care of the people around you. Stay at home when you can. And if you got to go out in large crowds, do wear your mask. Let's get this thing over and done with as much as possible so we can get back to everyday life. I miss normalcy. We'll have a new normal, but what we can grasp of the old normal.
Trevor?
yeah.
He's not a man of many words.
I mean, I know. I as far as the COVID and like you said, final thoughts.
If you ever get a chance, fucking alien.
Fucking alien.
That's my final thought. I want to have lots of alien babies.
No, I do think with COVID that we're looking. I mean, it would be nice if it would be done quickly, but I think we're looking at another. I mean, we're looking at an extended period of
however
trying to.
long.
You want things to go back to normal, but we've got to
sit down and buckle up. It's just gonna be
we got to find what the new normal is first before we can even try and decide that even get to that point. So I think we got some time for it to work the kinks out, and hopefully, like you said, before too long, we'll have some kind of thing figured out.
Yep. Garth, you want to give us a sweet final thought and sign off?
Yeah. So I think that the biggest thing for me is just keep your head up. Like, I think we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel here, and we got a vaccine on the horizon. Keep your hands washed. Keep the people you love close to you. Reach out to somebody. You never know what somebody's going through, and just be safe out there. Don't be afraid, but be safe. And we'll catch you next time, a little bit further down the rabbit hole.